Good afternoon, ladies and gents, and welcome to CRK TV live stream. We've been conducting quite a lot of these live streams across all our divisions, and we're happy to be here today. I'm here with Darren Banks, and we're going to be talking about something that we have spoken about in the past, but I'm really excited to be talking about the thermal system again. But before I do that, I just want to remind the viewers that because we are doing a live stream, it's very important for us to do live streams because it engages with our customers, but you can also play the videos back. They are actually recorded.
Yep.
Cool. All right, Darren, well, thanks for coming here
right.
and obviously joining us on this live stream. Now, tell us a bit about what we have in front of us.
So in front of us today, we have the Dahua thermal camera with the high temperature mode capability through the AI. We have the black body, which is a reference point, which is a constant temperature source. Underneath the camera and the black body, we actually have the mounting brackets already for the tripods. But obviously we don't have the tripods on display, but we have 2.5 metre tripods to ensure that the camera and the black body can be deployed at the correct heights. And with the camera, it can either be a standalone solution with an SD card inside to a web browser, or we can supply the AI NVR with monitors, etc., etc.
Cool. Now this solution is something that has many purposes, and I feel it's very important to allude to because it's currently being implemented.
Yep.
Okay, across many sort of scenarios, and what's very important is that this is providing assistance to preventing COVID and epidemics and pandemics. I think that's very important for us to understand. It's providing assistance.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate a bit on
well,
that?
basically what the system does, it provides an indication that someone coming onto a premises may have a high temperature, and then it really comes down to the operating procedures of the organisation as to what they do with that person that displays a high temperature. The beauty about the Dahua solution is it is a completely free-flowing, contact-free way of actually measuring a number of people entering a premises, and it does it very, very quickly. So,
okay, very cool. Now, Dahua has had many years of experience as far as developing, I think, AI CCTV solutions. Yep. And talking about many years of experience, they do a lot of refinement.
Yep.
They do a lot of field testing.
Yep.
Correct. And they also the implementation as well. And speaking of the implementation, we actually implement this whole system in our state offices, right? To talk a bit about that.
So, I mean, across the states, we've obviously deployed the system internally for two reasons. Obviously, we get to monitor our own employees to make sure that we're working in a safe environment. But I think, secondly, what it does for us is...
on the screen on state office in Melbourne.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I think what it does for us as a sales team and an organisation, it allows us to understand the technology, understand how to deploy it, how to set it up, and also gives us confidence in the performance of the system. So we've deployed the system here. The team here are extremely confident in the way the system performs. It allows us to basically go out to our customers and talk about the benefits of the solution, and not just to go off a data sheet. Correct. Or something that somebody else has supplied us with.
So you're not just rattling off figures and numbers and showing them hardware. We actually field testing this as well.
Exactly.
And putting it through a lot of testing before it goes out. But as you just saw on screen as well, and by the way, I just want to remind viewers that we're going to hear Mike off screen, who is our producer. So we'll chat, and if we do have any questions, feel free to ask them and get engaged with our live chat section as well. But quickly, I want to say that the system now is best described as what I think some people coined the phrase retail flow solution or control. Yep. Can you explain that?
Well, as I said, the nice thing about the system is it can be deployed very quickly. It goes onto tripods. But if we deploy this into a retail environment, and that retail environment, it could be, a supermarket, a department store, even a shopping centre. You could even take it down to a restaurant or a pub or a club. With the guidelines the government's put in place about having so many people enter a premises, at the moment what they're doing is you have people standing there with counters counting people in and out. If we deploy this system with an additional camera through the AI, what we can do is the camera can actually count people entering and exiting the building at the same time. So not only are you monitoring the temperature of people entering, but you're also counting how many people are entering and how many people are leaving, and it's all into one nice solution.
Okay, so let's quickly show now on screen. We actually have the New South Wales State Office here, and we a couple of guys that go through and come through the reception area, and this is what happens every day. They essentially screen themselves, they get a temperature check, and then basically they're on their way.
So what you've got to understand with that is obviously you saw people stopping. Now, you actually don't need to stop. You can just keep on walking.
That's
right?
good to know. So thank you, Darren.
what tends to happen is everybody stops because they want to see themselves and see what temperature they are.
Yeah, okay.
Because they're walking through the scene too quickly,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
But the idea is it's free flowing. You don't need to stop, and it doesn't need to be one person at a time. It can be a number of people. And I think if you saw that video, you would have seen the other people standing behind. You could still see temperatures above them as well.
Yeah. So
So
it reads different.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It sort of reminds me of the heat system thing when you see in movies. When
Exactly,
like,
yeah,
it's pretty
yep.
cool. Hey, Mike, you reckon we could pull up a couple of slides in regards to some case studies? So what we'll do is now have a look at some establishments that we've actually implemented this system. I know it's been broadly, like I said again, implemented right across Australia, and we want to try and bring those up and have a look at where they've been brought up to as well as far as the cameras are concerned. So you see the first one here, Monash Health. Now tell us a bit about that establishment. You said that they had a tender for us recently and they bought the system.
Yeah, through our health group. Obviously we work within the health industry, and we've had a number of deployments of this solution across various health organisations.
Very good.
To obviously monitor people going in and out. And obviously the health industry, as we know, or health facilities, are going to be more susceptible to the virus because of the amount of people they're treating.
Yeah.
So
these are not demos, right?
These are live systems that have been deployed in various health facilities across
Because I
Australia.
remember you did say there was one specific slide, and you see they even have people where they would place people in a certain position to get a proper reading. And again, we'll go back again and talk about the importance of the black body and how it works with the main camera. But there was another one coming up where it was actually installed. So the camera was actually installed not on a tripod, but
hung from the ceiling,
itself. Okay. So there's again in Berwick in Victoria, same group, Monash Health. So yeah, they have largely rolled this out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And do you know how many units and how many cameras they implemented right across?
From memory, there was between 30 and 50 solutions or systems deployed across the health group.
Wow.
We were very lucky when we first kicked this off. We picked up a meat company, or I think it's similar to an abattoirs or a processing area.
Yeah, and that was in Victoria, right?
It was in Victoria. They had a number of shift workers. They had 3 shifts. They didn't want to have to close the factory down if they caught the virus. We deployed 3 systems into that at the entry points. And from talking to the team, the first day that was deployed and switched on, they had 3 of their staff members turn up with high temperatures. So we were pretty much there at the start of this, and every day we're promoting the system and proposing the system out to new companies.
And with 4,000 employees, it's so important to nip it in the bud, isn't it?
Of course.
The fact that they had registered 3 high temperatures. I mean, that was this is like a frontline solution as well, isn't it?
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
So let's talk about the number of benefits, or the 3 main benefits I think for this system. It greatly sort of promotes is the temperature checks again.
Yep.
The people, the head count you can use also, and also the video capture itself can double as a security option as well, correct?
Of course it can.
Yeah.
So look, at the end of the day, once we get to the back end of this pandemic, and depending on where we go and how long temperature monitoring is implemented, I mean, the camera doesn't need to be packed away and put in a cupboard. The camera can be taken out and implemented as part of the existing CCTV solution.
Yeah.
You just turn off the high temperature mode, and then it becomes a thermal camera as part of their solution.
Okay. So let's go back again to the hardware now, just quickly. Now, I know in my last session with you in our live stream, we talked about the components of the system. Now, you can use the camera standalone, but it's not
as
recommended.
Yeah.
Okay. But it shows the versatility of the system, which is fantastic. But let's talk about the accuracy of having the black body implemented together with the system of the camera.
So the specifications are very clear. So by using the black body, because the black body is set at a specific temperature, and out of the factory it comes at 35 degrees, the camera constantly uses the black body as a reference point.
Yes.
Whereas when the camera is in standalone mode, it's using the ambient temperature of the building, which you actually set up on the camera.
Yeah.
Problem with ambient temperature is that can fluctuate during the day as doors and windows and people go by, and air conditioning, etc. So the accuracy of the camera by itself would mean that you'd have to constantly check the ambient temperature to make sure you're maintaining the right guidance. By referencing the black body, it's constantly looking at this as the main check heat source.
Yeah.
And so therefore the accuracy is within 0.3 of a degree.
Fantastic. Okay, and just quickly also want to remind all our viewers that we are now rolling out our social network sites as far as surveillance are concerned. So feel free to like, share, subscribe. We're slowly building our channels. So we're going to bring you a lot more content in regards to stuff on surveillance, particularly our surveillance national YouTube channel.
Yep.
So like I said again, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. But going through the convenience of this as well, when I talked about the small footprint, we're going to see a couple more case studies around Australia, but the physical footprint of these things are very small. So again, like I said, you could have the front camera, you have that. I mean, you see, like in this case, we're looking at the Wesley Hospital in Alshenflower in Queensland. You see that camera obviously is mounted on the wall. Again, the black body is currently mounted along with the camera, so it doesn't take up a lot of room.
The footprint, look, the specs are very, very clear. The footprint is between the camera and the black body is approximately 3 metres.
Yeah.
The camera should be mounted at a height of just over 2 metres.
I mean, look at this. This is a perfect setup, isn't it?
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, so you have a station, a sanitizing station over there. You get some tape. That's where a person has to go. And again, like I said, but again, it's by choice. They can move.
They can keep free flowing, or they can stop, or whatever.
Correct,
they
or
want
they can
to.
stop and get an accurate reading. So that's in the Wesley Hospital. And again, with now what we don't see in that slide, obviously, is the NVR, or the network video recorder.
No, exactly right.
But we can also use that. I mean, obviously, it has to be used together.
Well, the beauty about the NVR, if you deploy this as with the SD card and just the black body in the camera, then you need a PC to do the web interface.
Yeah.
The beauty about having the NVR is that you can have a screen constantly displaying to people that are walking in front of it, so they can actually see themselves as well and see if they're registering a high temperature or low temperature. I mean, yes, the camera does have an alarm output on it, so when it detects a high temperature, it will give you an audible signal and a visible light on the camera. But I think having the NVR with a monitor and display just reinforces it to somebody walking through the system that they are potentially a high temp.
Okay, so it's a complete solution.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just quickly, can we just talk about pricing before we talk about, move on to more of the case studies? What's the general pricing for this at the moment? In terms? Yeah, we can.
It's a difficult one. I mean, at the end of the day, the recommended retail price on this, and we advertised this, a few weeks ago. Nationally, the recommended retail price on this is $27,000, excluding GST, and that was for the camera, the black body, tripods, SD card, as a standalone solution. But realistically, times are changing, opportunities come up, and so we will price accordingly for the demand in the market.
And give people some incentive as well.
Of course.
Yeah, okay. Cool. Now I want to quickly mention something about how this can also be applicable for different industries. And I mean, for example, we know that major film productions have closed based on the COVID situation.
Of course.
But a lot of them are actually reopening now. And recently, there was a widely reported scenario where Tom Hanks, for example, was here in the Gold Coast shooting, I think, Elvis, the movie, and he was diagnosed with COVID. So it's also a really good system to implement for film productions as well.
It's not just film; it's film, television. It's look, to be honest, it's a system that can be deployed to any type of industry. What we have to keep in mind is that we're susceptible anywhere where there's going to be people and there's going to be crowds. So the film industry, the entertainment industry, pubs, clubs, anywhere where we're going to get people coming through that we want to monitor temperatures.
I mean, this would be also handy in a lot of private practices for general practitioners as well, if they choose to do so.
Exactly.
And it's something that will... Now, this cuts down a lot of time as far as efficiency is concerned, because like I said, you don't actually have to stand there and take a temperature.
It's not so much cutting down the time, it's cutting down the risk. To have somebody stand next to somebody with a thermometer and to risk touching somebody with a thermometer or being exposed to somebody within that 1.5 metre distance, this takes all of that risk away because it's totally contactless, right? Okay. So the only time that you need to potentially step in is if a high temperature comes up. And then it's really down to how you proceed to the next step. We got a couple of questions, right, Mike? We got a question from Paul Vavage. I've seen a question. So what's Paul's question?
Yeah, so Paul is asking, how long has the system been around for?
So what I can tell, Paul, is that the initial temperature screening was developed during the SARS epidemic, which was, over 12 years ago now. And manufacturers then started developing solutions. The new Dahua solution, this particular solution, was released January this year. So this has really been out now for about 5 months. As we stated earlier, we've obviously rigorously tested and we've deployed it ourselves in our own facilities because we want to be confident that if we're talking to a customer that the system actually does what it's designed to do. What I can tell you is that when we put this into the medical practices down in Victoria through the medical team, the end users actually came in with their medical grade thermometers and they were double checking against how the solution worked and performed.
As far as accuracy is concerned.
As far as
this was spot on, right?
So, well, I don't know if it was 100% spot on, but you know, as we've said, you know, this has a 0.3 of a degree potential. But what I would say is that they were confident enough that it was accurate enough for them to actually proceed.
And the key is really in the black body because what it does is it emits a heat signature, correct?
It does. It's a heat box. So on the front of the box, it is a constant 35. So like I said, the beauty about it is if the medical facilities didn't feel that it was accurate enough, then we wouldn't have got the deployments.
Correct. And as you can see in the slides too, we've had so many different, applications and implementations also of, this whole entire system working around Australia. So, so don't forget, viewers, also to, like I said, like, share and subscribe because now we're rolling out all these live streams. It's very important. Like I said, if you're missing or you missed the live stream, you can always replay and watch it again. So now you said and there you go, all our social media channels and our networks down, all our handles are currently at the bottom of the screens. You can see just pop in and out. Now, you're working also tirelessly with the medical division to roll these out as well, right?
Yeah, to be honest, it's not just our medical division. We're actually working with our retail division as well.
Wow.
So,
and hence that's why I said the retail flow control.
Exactly, right. So our medical division has been fantastic and they're opening opportunities and we're talking to, aged care and other facilities. But also through our retail division, we've now had opportunities to go and talk to retail distributors, manufacturers, etc., etc. So, as a business, we've pulled together and we're all working together to try and get across the market. Yeah.
So, Mike, do you think we could take another question at all? Or we have another question, please. Let's have a look and see what.
So, Ray is asking, can the main camera be utilised standalone without the black body, guys?
Yes. Yeah. So the manufacturer is very clear that obviously the accuracy without the black body. Is reduced. So therefore, the 0.3 degree that we talk about by using the black body, without the black body, it can be anything up to, they say, a degree. We've obviously been testing it here ourselves, and there are some changes. So we might register 36.9 with the black body. Without the black body, it may register at 36.7. So we're sort of seeing about 0.2 to 0.3 of a degree sway. We've been testing that now for 2.5 weeks locally in our own branch. And that's generally what we're seeing on a day-by-day basis.
Yeah.
So because we're not changing the ambient temperature either, so initially when we set that up, it was set at 22.6 degrees as the ambient temperature, and we didn't adjust that on a daily basis. So it can be used.
So let's go back to those slides again with all the different systems across Australia, whether it's hospitals and the different various establishments as we had seen before. It's really also a plug-and-play solution for a lot of these customers, aren't they?
Very much.
So again, as far as case studies are concerned, it's so convenient for them to use.
The beauty about the system, from start to finish, it takes pretty much no longer than an hour to deploy.
Yeah.
And realistically, it's 30 minutes for the black body to reach the correct temperature. That's what's recommended. By the time you screw the brackets on, pop up the tripods, mark out an area, anything up to an hour and you're deploying a solution, it's very, very quick, very, very simple. And it's a great solution.
There we go. On screen again, we have St. Vincent's Hospital in Melbourne, Victoria. I'm sure these would have been, it's great to see these people actually put these systems in place and utilise this Dahua thermal system. There we got St. Stephen's Hospital in
and as you can see, they've deployed a hard install there because they've wall mounted the camera.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay. And it's something that we can do, right?
Yeah, of course
Yes,
it is.
correct, yeah, fantastic. So that's Harvey Bay. Then we, again, a different setup. Here you can see
St Stephen's.
St Stephen's, again,
Harvey,
Queensland,
yep, yep.
and Harvey Bay. This is in St Andrew's War Memorial Hospital. Now, thanks to all our sales guys and rep guys as well, they've gone around and literally got all these shots of showing the system in application and in actual practice. We got, again, St Andrew's War Memorial Hospital in Brisbane, Queensland. That's on a stand. So again, the agility and also the versatility, flexibility of that is you can also mount these on stands. There's another tripod. I remember you asking me about mounting one of the cameras on a C-stand, so you can do that as well.
Yeah, now we've got nice big tripods though.
Yeah, fantastic. That's good. So that's let's see another one coming up. If there's another one that, there we go. Same one in Brisbane. Fantastic. Okay, cool. All right. So thanks very much, Darren, for your time here. It's been really insightful. I think it's wonderful that we are showing people what we're capable of doing as far as the assistance in the prevention of, what's going on right now. Don't forget, for all our subscribers and followers, to subscribe to our social network sites. As you can see, CRK Surveillance on Facebook, LinkedIn, and also YouTube. We are about to roll out a lot more content, live streams, and like I said, these live streams are important because it engages with our customers. And it's a great way of also saying and telling people what's available out there. So, yep, thank you so much once again. And to my fabulous team here, who have definitely been very, very efficient. Okay, thank you so much, and thanks for watching. And don't forget, like, share, subscribe. We'll see you in the next CRK TV live stream. Thanks.